Hey there, welcome back to my channel. I'm Britt Cooper, and here on my channel Escape the Ordinary, I talk about, all things motherhood and fun life stuff. So today I'm talking about how to come back from a trip. Well, sometimes I feel like you get home from a trip and then you need a vacation from your vacation because it is so much work to get back from a trip and to get back into life, and you have to regroup from traveling back home. And like we had a red eye, and so we got like literally, my watch told me that I had 2.5 hours of sleep, and that seems about accurate. So yeah, it's not fun sometimes coming home from a trip, and I almost always cry right before I come home. And I'll be posting our trip video probably next week, but I had a little day in the life of, and so yeah, so anyways, coming home from a trip is sometimes just like the worst ever in the whole wide world, because it's like back to reality and back to work, and my hair is doing something funky, but we're not going to worry about it. It's just like back to all the real life responsibilities. And I'm not a huge fan of responsibilities. I'm kind of childish. But that's okay, because I am a mom, and coming with that comes responsibility, and that's the best kind of responsibility. I love taking care of my kiddos. So, coming home from a trip, how to make it not the worst. There's a few things that I do. And I think first of all, you just have to realize that like, it's not a big deal. Just take a day and do the things that you need to do in order to regroup. So that's what today is. And we're doing laundry and unpacking all of, the random stuff that you take on a trip and bring home from a trip. The thing when it makes it most difficult coming back from a trip is if you're not prepared before you go. So, what I mean by that is this time around, I was not super prepared to go on our trip because we were sick and it was Christmas time and it was not the best situation. Okay, I've got my husband's shirts, I've got my shirts. I did not make a spot for my dresses, but oh well, we'll just drape them. Okay, there we go. So, I think that's one of the reasons why I was a little bit overwhelmed coming home this time, was because I wasn't quite prepared in all the ways that I like to be prepared. Let me explain. So, when I go on a trip, before I go, I like to do a few things to make my re-entry into the world better, such as making sure that the house is clean before I go, making sure that all of our normal laundry is done before I go, and making sure that we do at least some schoolwork while we're on said trip, because then when you come back, you don't have as much makeup work to do. Coming home to last week's work, plus trying to get all the things done that you missed, plus all your laundry and traveling and all of that quadruples and makes it into a horrible experience. So instead, what I like to do, and I did some of it, what I like to do before a trip is to make sure that my house is clean. Ideal, right? We're going towards ideals. This time around, it was tidy. My house was tidy when we left, but it wasn't clean. So today, my son, for example, right now is cleaning his bathroom. And so we have some chores to do. So I like to make sure that those chores are done before before we're gone. So we come home to a clean place. It's so nice to come home and have a place where you love, So get your chores done before you leave. That's a big deal. Then, something else I really love to do before a trip is to make a meal for the freezer for when we go. So that way when we're coming home, the day that we get home, I can just put something in the oven and voila, dinner's done. I did do that, woohoo, because it was Christmas. And so I had made lasagna for Christmas, and then I just made an extra one for when we got home from our trip. So one day, and I got, a few meals done, and it was fantastic. So that was a big winner. So yesterday we all had lasagna for dinner. It was like so nice to come home to that. Okay. Then I did not get a bunch of our laundry done before we left. So we have this week's laundry to do plus the last week's laundry to do. That's all right. It's just going to be a little extra laundry. My kids pretty much do all of their own laundry. And so a lot of our laundry is all mixed up from traveling. So we just ran a bunch of loads yesterday and today. And then right now we're putting them all away. So that's going to be done soon. That makes it so nice. The zipper's having a hard time. I did it. I did the zipper. Okay. So, how do you come home from a trip? Number one, treat yourself to some pre-done work before you leave. Number two, make yourself some meals for when you come home. And then the last thing that I like to do to make life coming home wonderful from a trip is take something away from the trip. I'm not talking like a souvenir or, a bag of sand, which I do. I'm talking about something that you learned about yourself or from the culture of where you were. So, for example, my favorite trip place that I've ever gone to is Costa Rica. I have traveled to many countries. I love traveling. Who doesn't? And one thing that I try to do is when I go to a place is to come home with something that I've learned from that culture, that place. And in Costa Rica, many people know that the main thing that they say there is pura vida. Pura vida means the pure life, but it means like living in a way that you are really loving life. It's beautiful. Life is a beautiful thing. And so I have really worked on incorporating that into the way we live since the first time we went to Costa Rica. This time, going to Hawaii, I noticed quite a few things, but the thing that I learned this trip was not necessarily from we actually didn't have a whole lot of interaction with anyone from Hawaii that's from Hawaii, which was a bummer, but mainly because we were sick. So the thing that I realized of why I love going on a vacation, other than being blissfully warm, we came home to a snowing day. I do love the snow. The thing that I realized that I love so much is having the freedom of a non-agenda. I don't really love things to get too scheduled, and then I feel kind of like claustrophobic from life. Like, there's too much going on, there's too much planned, there's not going to be any room for spontaneity or, spending time with my kids. It's just everything's too rigid, So that's something that I really want to bring back to my normal life is like, how can I let go of some of the schedule and make our life a little bit more flowy? One of the things that and this doesn't work for everyone, I know this. One of the things that my favorite thing to do in the ocean. I love scuba diving, I love surfing, I love playing in the waves. My favorite thing to do in the ocean, I realize, is letting it pick me up and put me back down. Feeling that flow and then playing in the waves and feeling the force of the waves move over you and just going with the energy of the ocean. I just love it. I love it. And that's something that I really want to encapsulate, is just going with the flow, going with the energy of whatever's coming our way, you know? So going with the energy of the world, not like I don't know how to say it, not like getting picked up in the hustle and bustle and just like frantically moving forward, but allowing the time for fast-paced things and then allowing for the time for the slowing down of things, you know? So that's what I'm gonna work on. Hi.
Oh, hey. How's the laundry going?
It is one hanger off. One off. Actually, there's a couple more things over there, so it's 3 off. Okay. I went and got my 3 hangers, so now I can finish my laundry. This obviously was not from our Hawaii trip. Who wears that in Hawaii? It's from before. So, as I said, letting yourself have the treat of getting no other old projects, so that way you can have a fresh start when you get home. But anyways, back to saying what you learn about the place that you came from, or what you learn about yourself while you're there, is something that, you know, is just a great way to have a fresh take on life when you come back from a trip, that you can, I feel like we overwork ourselves, and then you have the like these two polar opposites. So when you're day-to-day life, you're just go, 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 and we don't rest enough. And then we go on vacation and you're absolutely exhausted. And it's like finding the balance in between those two things. Hey, bud.
I've done those things in my room.
Okay, you can go play.
Thank you.
You're welcome, love you. Okay, success, yes. So finding the balance between those things, so that way you have a little bit more ebb and flow in life, and then you're not so desperate for the vacation once it comes. So that's what I'm going to work towards, is having more of that flow in my life. And I feel like that's reflected in some of my goals, like the one I have about painting, doing a new painting every month. I don't know if I listed that one on my YouTube channel or not, but one of those things of a quieter time is sitting and reading with my daughter. That's one of the reasons why I have a hard time doing that, is because I have a hard time slowing down sometimes. So reading with my daughter, studying my scriptures, my prayers, some of these things are a quieter goal that slows me down, and I get to feel that ebb, you know, right before the flow. So finding that balance, and I think that's some good, helpful things to help you find more ease into coming back from a vacation. And then lastly is, don't make a big deal of it. Sometimes it's just easier to get the chores done. And when you make a huge deal, oh, I have this and 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 blah, 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 all to get done, you get all, you know, crazy in your brain and stress yourself out, and then everything becomes an ordeal. Instead of just being like, I'm going to take a day and, you know, get everything done from our trip, and then I'm set. So it's not a big deal. You just do what needs to get done. It'll be easy. Make it easy. All right. Have a great day. Bye.